For the remainder of these lessons, I'm going to be going through some of the parts of the software that I don't necessarily use regularly, but they are things that are good to know and I think worth knowing. So we're going to cover some of that now. The first tool we're going to cover is the gradient tool. We just click that tool, we're going to get all of these colorful options over here. There's lots of different modes for this particular tool. There's foreground to transparent. Now what this does, it takes your foreground color, in this case this orange. I'm going to pick something different here like a purple. And to use this tool, you're going to put the cursor on the screen somewhere. It's kind of hard to see right now, but it's up here at the top left. I'm going to drag a line across, and what you're going to see is it's going to create a gradient from the top to the bottom using this purple color into transparency. Now if you make this line really long, let's say all the way across the image, you'll get a smooth gradient all the way from the top all the way to the bottom. And the angle will change depending on the angle that you pull the gradient down. So if I go to the very top and pull straight down, the gradient is going to go from top to bottom. If I start at the bottom and drag to the top, this is probably the most common one that's used, is when you are taking a color and just dragging it into transparency. The other thing to keep in mind here is how long you stretch this line also makes a difference. So for example, if I start on the left and drag all the way to the right, and by the way, you can hold shift to kind of jump to the 0 and 45 degree increments. But I'm going to drag this all the way across. Now we have a perfect gradient from this purple on the left all the way to transparent on the right. If I shorten this, it just shortens the amount of space that the gradient covers. That's the only difference. So this is a good way. You can get really short gradients. You can get really long gradients. Now this is the straight line version. There's also a circle version and an ellipse version. The circle draws a circle instead, but it's still the same thing. We still get a solid color into transparency. This would actually be a good place to use this if we change this to like a yellow color. So we've created like a little round glow effect. I can make it small. I can duplicate it a couple times. There's also an oval option, which changes to a shape like this, which can be interesting if, let's say that I wanted this to look like it was some kind of lens flare or something. This is actually a two-step process. You start in the middle where you want your gradient to start, determine the shape. Let's say I want it to be like a little thin oval like this. And when I lift my pen, now it's rotating. So I can decide what angle I want. So if I want it straight across, I can just hold shift, it'll snap, all the way around the clock here. And then click again. There we go. It actually looks pretty cool, so I think I'm going to use it. Make it really small. There's also some other options, and these create really interesting effects, but not effects that I would ever really use. For edge process, it defaults to do not repeat. So you just draw a gradient and it fills it in. But you can also set it to repeat, and it will duplicate it over and over. This reverses it. So that's the foreground to transparent. We can also choose foreground to background. We can set those two colors here. Just click on the top one to set the foreground to orange, for example, and click the one behind it, and we can set it to something else. Now it's just blending that one into the other. All the same modes are available: circle, oval, etc. I'd recommend just playing around with the options here. This one is a quick way to make stripes. I guess the closer that they are, the more stripes it's going to make. Pretty handy. This one alternates stripes with foreground and background. The other tool I want to touch on here real quick, and it's kind of funny that we did this entire piece without don't even know if we mentioned it, but it's the eraser tool. There are so many options for, non-destructive work, whether you're using a mask or transparency itself, which I guess that would actually be destructive. But I've just sort of made a habit over the years of not using the eraser tool, but it works just like you would expect the eraser tool to work. You can go into anything, like let's say the glow on this cat here. And there's a hard edge eraser. There's a softer edge, which puts a little bit of a soft edge on it. And there's a couple of different textures. There's rough textures. There's a vector eraser, which none of these options or tools I really use that much. If you do want to use them, feel free, but they're pretty straightforward. I just couldn't get through in a whole course without at least mentioning the fact that the eraser exists. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one.